Okay, so now that we shared our app with Michael, he used it on his mobile device and he says, hey, the one thing that was missing in there was a business process flow, right? He wants to have a process that walks him through these travel expenses and takes advantage of figuring out, is it a billable or not? If it's billable, what customer to bill? And then when did we send it off? I was like, well, no worries. That is another one of the great features of model-driven apps. So let's go in here to our app and add a business process flow. So hidden over here in this beautiful little green icon, we're going to click on business process. And so once again, we can see the different ones that are already there, but we don't want any of those. We want to create a new one. And so a business process flow, right, it's all about walking us through a process. So we're going to have a process around these travel requests. And the idea with that is that you can either have the process kind of branch out and do different things, or you can also have a gated process, so only when certain conditions are met, they can do it. But the idea also of the process is that it can be something that happens over time. So, maybe it is, I want to order something, and then the process goes to the next step, and when we receive it, we mark it as received, which then starts the next step in the process, right? And so you can kind of have this controlled experience where we have just that one bit of data, but we're moving it up and down the process based on the business process flow that we're going to define here. So we're going to have our process name. We're going to name it Bill a Customer. Categories, business process flow. Okay, so we're going to hit the drop down. We're going to get our entity. Wait a minute, our travel entity is not here. Oh, why is that? So instead of you pulling out your hair, which I may or may not have done the first time I had this problem, I'm going to show you how to get it to show up there. So let's cancel out of this. Go back over to your Power Apps. So remember how I talked to you earlier about with the Advanced, sometimes there's things you need to do over here? Here's an example. Click on Advanced. We get our new tab. We're going to find our entities. There's our travel tracker. We're going to click on that. And so then right here it says business process flows and fields will be created. So we're going to click on this. So this is going to enable business process flows and it's going to add a couple other fields into our entity. We don't care. The system's going to do all the work for us. We just need to check that box. So now that we've checked that, we will say we want to publish. Oh, it says, hey, you got to save them first. Duh. Click on Save. Okay, and so then after a moment there, it got done. And so then now we'll click on Publish. And we've already saved the changes. This screen's just not telling us the truth, so we'll say OK. Okay, so now that our customization has been published, let's go back over to our App Designer. Let's click on Business Processes again, and then we'll say Create New. We'll just go ahead and check our drop-down. And look at that. Our friend Travel Tracker is there, so we'll click on that. And we'll say, Bill the Customer. We will not spell customer with a W, though. It's the non-traditional spelling, in case you're wondering. So Bill the Customer. All right, that looks great. So we'll click OK. And so now we're brought into this designer interface again, which is almost identical to the one we use for our business processes, right? So we're in the same experience. So once you kind of get these skill sets going, this Visio-esque is what I always feel like it is, skill sets, so we're going to kind of reapply these over and over again. So let's go over here and say, let's start building our stages. So we want to name this stage. We're going to name this stage, Is It Billable? And what do we want to do here? We want to, we're going to leave our category alone, sorry. We're going to go down here to Details, and we're going to have a data step. So we're going to click on the data step, and our step is going to be Billable. And then for the data field, what we're going to do is we're going to show them the billable field, right? And so it's a yes/no field, and we're going to make it required. So what's going to happen now is when we create our form, and so we add a new person to our form, we're going to have the first step of the process is going to be prompting them, is this a billable expense or not? That's what's going to happen with this. So then now that we've prompted them for that, we're going to add, and this time, we're going to add a condition. And so what is our condition going to be? We're going to say, check the billable status. And so then our rule is going to be if billable equals value, yes. Perfect. That was pretty easy. So we're going to say apply. And so if our billable status equals yes, then we need to ask them who the customer is. So we're going to say add again. We're going to add another stage. We're going to add it right here. Kind of scroll sideways. And so in this stage, we're going to call this stage who is the customer. And we'll then go to details, and we need a data step for this one. And the data we're going to ask them for is going to be customer to bill right there. Boom, we'll make this required. When they fill out this stage, they'll move to our next stage, so we'll add another one. And we're going to say add a stage right here. We'll kind of scroll a little sideways again. And so what is this stage going to be named? We're going to name this one invoice the customer. So like that. And we need to click apply, right? So we've noticed over there that my stuff still says new stage. Just go ahead and click apply. Oops. So invoice the customer. Let's go back and fix this one real quick. So this one was who is the customer, right? Sometimes you forget these buttons hiding down here at the bottom. That was my bad. Apply. Let's see. Travel tracker. So over here, we're going to set this one to be, is it billable? Scroll down and say apply. And then check the billable status. All right, so that one's good. Okay. Sorry about that. We want to make sure it made a lot of sense to us, right? So everything's still good in here. So then now we have our data step. And so what is this step going to be? This one's going to be, was the invoice sent? And we'll say select the data to enter will be invoice sent. That will be required. We'll apply that one. And then we will add another data step. So we'll say add, and this time we're going to say add a data step. And it says, well, where do you want to add it? I want to add it right here. Boom, data step 2. And when invoice sent. And so then finally we'll do invoice sent date and make that required. We'll say apply that. So that looks good. Looks like we did not apply these either. Man, I get an F on applying this stuff. So this one was customer to bill. And customer to bill right here, say apply. Oh, we'll make it required also, so we'll apply that again. So that looks good, that looks good. And for this data step, this was is it billable? Select the enter, and so we'll say billable, required, and apply. Yay! So that gets us all of our fun stuff there. So it looks good to me. So we'll kind of scroll back up here a little bit, and we're going to say we want to save that. And then now we need to activate it. And do we want to activate it? Yes, we do. And just like that, we're now all set and activated. Good deal. Okay. So then now we can close out of here. And so for business processes, we're going to say build the customer. We will say save. And say publish. And so then now if we go back over to our app real quick, we'll say play. And so then now back in our dashboard, right, we can click the new option. And so look up here at the top, we now see that our business process has been added in here. And so as we work through this, right, so if we go in, we say, all right, our trip is to the moon, and destination is the moon. Our transportation for that is clearly going to be a plane. And then our expenses are 1222, yep, perfect. We'll say save. And so then now that we've saved our new record, our process kicks off. So we can click in here. Is it billable? It is. So then we'll say, all right. So we'll say finish. And then we'll jump into the next stage. Who's the customer to bill? And so when we type in here, we will see no customers to bill. There we go. I just had to do it 3 times. So then, right, this is doing that lookup against the existing contacts that were already in there. So Maria, you're getting billed for this. So we'll say next to that. And then finally, was the invoice sent? Yes, it was. And when was the invoice sent? June 5th, 2018. Seems like a perfect date to be done. And so say finish. So then that is showing you an example of how it walks you through the process. And so important things to understand, right, is we can definitely have different steps be required or not required. Remember, we had the whole fields be required, and then we were able to kind of do the conditional logic to branch into different processes based on what we did there. Also, you can go back and query these. So you could say, how many of my records are currently stuck at the who is customer, or how many are currently stuck at invoicing the customer. And so it gets you in another reporting layer that you're able to add in. So business process flows, another great way to kind of keep people moving and keep your data, your process being done in those more regimented sets.